History is full of civilizations that rose to greatness and then vanished without a trace. They built advanced cities, mastered technology, and shaped the world, only to suddenly disappear, leaving behind ruins and mysteries. From the vanished Indus Valley to the eerie Croatoan of Roanoke, these stories remind us how fragile even the mightiest empires can be. So buckle up. Today we're diving into 10 lost civilizations that continue to baffle historians. And the deeper we go, the stranger it gets. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our journey into the world's strangest mysteries. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because some of these disappearances will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about history. The Indus Valley Civilization, the vanished giants of South Asia. Imagine it's 2500 BC. While much of the world is still figuring out farming, the Indus Valley people already have planned cities. Streets in perfect grids, two-story houses, even working plumbing. Some homes had private bathrooms, cleaner than half of today's apartments. Their cities, like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, buzzed with trade, art, and craftsmanship. Then around 1900 BC, everything stopped. Streets went quiet, houses empty, and no one knows why. Did rivers dry up? Did disease spread? Or did they simply scatter into villages? No clear answers. Here's the wildest part. They had a written script, thousands of inscriptions, but nobody has cracked it. Their story is locked away like a diary with no key. And honestly, if your civilization invented plumbing 5,000 years ago, wouldn't you want credit? Imagine what else they discovered that's still hidden. The Olmecs, the mysterious mother culture of Mesoamerica. Deep in the jungles of Mexico, over 3,000 years ago, a civilization rose, the Olmecs. They're often called the mother culture of Mesoamerica because so much of what came after, the Maya, the Aztec, seems to trace back to them. They gave us the first ball games, early calendars, and a belief system that shaped the entire region. But what really makes them unforgettable are those colossal stone heads, some weighing up to 40 tons, each with striking lifelike features. No advanced tools, no wheels, no beasts of burden, yet somehow they carved and transported them across miles of jungle. It's a mystery that still stuns archaeologists, and then, around 400 BC, the Olmecs vanished. Their once thriving cities were abandoned. Was it environmental collapse? Internal rebellion? Or maybe the world's first soccer league just got way too competitive? The Nabateans, the builders of Petra. If you've ever seen pictures of Petra in Jordan, you've seen the masterpiece of the Nabateans. Imagine walking through narrow desert canyons and suddenly stumbling upon temples and tombs carved into glowing red rock. It feels otherworldly. Over 2,000 years ago, the Nabateans mastered the impossible, building a thriving city in the desert. They engineered advanced water systems, aqueducts, and reservoirs that turned barren land into an oasis. Traders from Rome, Greece, India, and Arabia all passed through Petra. It was the Las Vegas of the ancient caravan routes. And yet, by the 4th century AD, the Nabateans began to fade. Rome took control, trade routes shifted, and their once mighty culture seemed to evaporate. One day they were desert kings, the next, gone. The mystery is how a people so skilled at surviving harsh conditions could just vanish. Maybe they adapted into other cultures, or maybe the desert simply took back what was theirs. The ancestral Puebloans, the cliff dwellers of America. High in the cliffs of the American Southwest, the ancestral Puebloans, often called the Anasazi, built entire cities tucked into canyon walls. Imagine climbing ladders every day just to get home. No gym memberships needed. From 600 to 1300 AD, they mastered desert farming, astronomy, and architecture. Chaco Canyon was like their version of Times Square, a bustling hub of culture and trade. Their buildings aligned perfectly with solar and lunar cycles, proving they were both engineers and stargazers. But then, around 1300 AD, they abandoned it all. Thousands of people, gone. Theories point to severe droughts, resource shortages, or even conflicts with neighboring groups. The real mystery? We don't know where they went. Some believe their descendants live among modern Pueblo tribes, while others think they simply vanished into the desert. The Minoans, Atlantis inspiration? On the island of Crete, more than 3,000 years ago, the Minoans thrived. They built massive palaces like Knossos, complete with colorful frescoes, advanced plumbing, and storage rooms that could put Costco to shame. From 3000 to 1450 BC, they were a Mediterranean powerhouse, trading, sailing, and shaping early Greek culture. But then, seemingly overnight, they were gone. Some blame the volcanic eruption of Thera, which unleashed a tsunami so powerful it may have drowned their ports. Others think invaders finished what nature started. Here's where it gets really intriguing. Many historians believe the sudden disappearance of the Minoans inspired Plato's legend of Atlantis, the advanced civilization that vanished beneath the waves. Were the Minoans the real Atlantis? Or just an ancient empire that proved even plumbing can't save you from a volcano? The Maya, the abandoned cities of the jungle. Deep in the jungles of Central America, the Maya built towering cities like Tikal, Copan, and Palenque. They were masters of astronomy, math, and writing, so advanced they even predicted solar eclipses with chilling accuracy. But by the 9th century, many of their greatest cities were mysteriously abandoned. Theories range from severe droughts to constant warfare or even rebellion from the common people. Here's the twist. The Maya as a people didn't disappear. Millions of their descendants still live today. But their glittering urban centers became swallowed by vines and silence. And of course, we can't ignore their infamous calendar. Remember 2012? Some people thought the world was ending. Maybe the Maya just stopped making calendars and went, that's future humanity's problem. The mystery remains. Why did so many powerful cities collapse at once, leaving behind empty stone pyramids lost to the jungle? The Rapa Nui, Easter Island, the people of the Moai. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean lies Easter Island, famous for its giant stone statues, the Moai. Some of these weigh over 80 tons, yet the islanders somehow moved them across miles without modern tools. To this day, nobody fully agrees on how they did it. The Rapa Nui thrived in isolation, but their society eventually collapsed. Some believe they cut down all their trees, triggering ecological disaster. Others argue European contact, disease, and slave raids destroyed them. But the real mystery is the statues themselves. Were they walked into place using ropes? Were they symbols of power, ancestors, or something deeper we can't yet understand? And just imagine being the guy tasked with moving an 80-ton statue. Sorry boss, I tripped and the ancestor fell over. That must have been a bad day. The fall of the Rapa Nui reminds us how even incredible ingenuity can't always save a society from collapse. The Cucuteni Trypillians, the burned cities of old Europe. 5,000 years ago, in parts of modern-day Ukraine, Romania, and Moldova, a mysterious Neolithic culture thrived. They built some of the largest settlements of their time, thousands of homes, carefully planned streets, even early art and pottery that still amazes archaeologists. But here's where it gets strange. Every few generations, they burned their cities to the ground. Not enemies, not invaders. They did it themselves, and then rebuilt everything from scratch, over and over again. Why? Some think it was ritual, a symbolic rebirth of the community. Others say it might have been practical, like clearing pests or resetting farmland. But honestly, it almost feels like the world's first recorded rage quit. Then around 3000 BC, the culture simply vanished. No dramatic war, no obvious disaster, just gone, leaving behind thousands of fragments of their story, but no ending. The Khmer Empire, the lost city of Angkor. At its height in the 12th century, the Khmer Empire ruled much of Southeast Asia. Their capital, Angkor, wasn't just impressive. It was the largest city in the world at the time, home to hundreds of thousands. And at its heart stood Angkor Wat, a temple so massive and detailed that even today it leaves visitors speechless. The Khmer mastered water management, creating vast reservoirs and canals that let their civilization thrive in the tropical heat. They turned jungle into paradise. But by the 15th century, Angkor was abandoned. Nature swallowed up the temples, and the empire's power dissolved. Some point to climate change, years of drought followed by flooding. Others blame constant wars with neighboring kingdoms. Or maybe trade routes shifted, leaving Angkor stranded. Whatever the reason, the greatest city on Earth didn't fall with a bang. It just faded into silence. The Lost Roanoke Colony, America's oldest mystery. In 1587, over 100 English settlers landed on Roanoke Island off the coast of modern-day North Carolina. They hoped to build a new life, but when supply ships returned just 3 years later, the colony was empty. No settlers, no struggle, no graves, just gone. The only clue? A single word carved into a tree: Croatoan. Some believe it pointed to a nearby island where the settlers may have joined native tribes. Others think disease, starvation, or hostile encounters ended their story. But no bodies, no evidence, nothing ever confirmed. To this day, it's one of America's oldest mysteries. Imagine being the captain sailing back with supplies, expecting a bustling colony, only to find silence and a cryptic word in the wood. Talk about the worst Airbnb check-in ever. The Roanoke settlers left no trail, no goodbye note, just questions that still echo more than 400 years later. From vanished empires to colonies that left behind nothing but a word carved in wood, these mysteries remind us of one thing: even the greatest civilizations can disappear like smoke. But the real question is, which mystery left you thinking the most? Was it the Indus Valley and their unreadable script, the cliff-dwelling ancestral Puebloans, or the colony that simply ghosted history? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what blew your mind. And if you enjoyed the journey, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive into the unexplained. Until next time, stay curious, because the past still holds secrets waiting to be uncovered.